Hello guys and welcome to a new episode of the Football plus F1 Show. As today we're going to talk about the World Cup 2026 draw that happened yesterday. Also we're going to talk about some Premier League games today, and maybe also, if I have enough time, reviewing the Man United West Ham game. But let's start with obviously the World Cup. Obviously, a draw, obviously all the excitement was coming into the draw, looking at which teams are they going to get, which could be possible matchups for the knockout stages. So it's very, very interesting. It's always going to be interesting. The World Cup draws are always very interesting to see. First of all, which teams were going to face each other in the group stages, but also which teams could face each other in the knockout stages. So that was always the case. That it was very, very interesting. You've got Group A. You've got Mexico, South Africa, Korea Republic, and winner of playoff D, Czech Republic, then Denmark, Ireland, and North Macedonia. It's not an amazing group as you can see, but I think it's a good draw for Mexico, and it's an old classic match between Mexico and South Africa, and it brings back the 2010 memories for South Africa with I think it was the Shalalala who scored that famous goal, which and I think Peter Drury said Fafana. Yeah, so that was a famous memory for South Africa. So and they're back in the World Cup for the first time since 2010. So it should be exciting for them. Czech Republic, Denmark, Republic of Ireland, and North Macedonia. And then you've got Group B, Canada, a winner of playoff A, which is Bosnia, Italy, Northern Ireland, Wales, Qatar, and Switzerland, which again is not it's a winnable group. Anybody can finish first, maybe except Qatar, but I think any group could finish first. I think anybody could. It's a bit like Group A where anybody could do well. So yeah. Group C, Brazil, Morocco, Haiti, Scotland. And by the way, just to remind you, the World Cup draws are now like 12 groups, not 8. So because the number of teams is now, it used to be 32, but now because of the expanded teams, it's now 48. So there's going to be a round of 32, of course, round 16, 8 quarter-final, semi-final, final. So yeah, but more games, more money, of course, for FIFA. But yeah, Brazil, Morocco, Haiti, Scotland, Group C. It's quite a decent group for Brazil. They should finish first, but then you've got Morocco, who did amazingly well in the World Cup semi-final, and they're the favourite to win the African Cup of Nations. Obviously, with the tournament that is the host in Morocco that is coming up. So I think they have a good chance of qualifying for the knockout stages. They're a good team. I think they could challenge Brazil for the first position. However, you've got Scotland as well, who've I would say they've vastly improved since they got knocked out in the group stages in the Euros, last Euros. I think they've vastly improved. They look a very good. They're a very good team, defensively quite strong, good experienced players like McTominay, of course, who's in the form of his life, Andy Robertson. They've improved. So they're a good team. I think they could challenge Morocco for the qualification. Haiti is going to be difficult for them. So that's quite a decent group actually. But I expect Brazil and Morocco to qualify. Group D, you've got the United States of America, Paraguay, Australia, winner of playoff C, Kosovo, Romania, Slovakia, and Turkey. Again, that's a winnable group for anybody. That's a decent group for those United States of America, for Mauricio Pochettino's side. They look good recently, especially smashing Uruguay. I think that's a decent group for them. So I think they should be pleased with that. I think maybe the team who could challenge USA for the first position, I would say maybe is Australia, maybe Turkey as well. I think Australia or Turkey, one of them. So yeah. Group E, you've got Germany, Curacao, Cote d'Ivoire, and Ecuador. Yeah, that's an easy group for Germany. Then you've got the reigning African champions, Côte d'Ivoire, good team. You got Ecuador, you got Carichao. I think Côte d'Ivoire should finish second and qualify. I expect them, but I think Carichao and Ecuador have a chance. But it's a very winnable group for Germany, so I think Germany should be pleased with that. Group F, Netherlands, Japan, winner playoff B, Albania, Poland, Sweden, Ukraine, Tunisia. Netherlands should do well in that group. They should win. However, you look at the rest: Japan, Tunisia, Poland, Sweden, Ukraine. It's anybody for grabs. Group G, my team, my country, Egypt, are in Group G. They've got Belgium, Iran, and New Zealand. I'm actually happy with that. It's better than I expected, because I thought we were going to get some giants there, or maybe a team from a hosts, because sometimes we don't like this kind of fixture games. But we've got a good group actually. Belgium, who they're not as good as they used to be. De Bruyne is, he's injured for a long time, and he's going to have to come back to his best when he comes back from his injury, and it's going to take time. Lukaku is not the same player as he was before. Hazard is retired. Belgium, Belgium still got decent players like Trossard, for example. So, but I don't think this Belgium side are that good as they used to be. When they had that golden generation, when they had Vincent Kompany, Kevin De Bruyne, Lukaku, etc., Hazard, Courtois, who's still in the team, by the way. He still can be a pain in the ass, but yeah, I think that's a decent group actually. I really think that's a decent group for us. Then you've got Iran, then you've got New Zealand. I think that's a group. I think it's a group that anybody can win the group. I think Egypt can win the group. I think Iran could win the group. I think New Zealand can win the group. Anybody could win the group. However, and I'm talking about Egypt, we need our best players in good shape and good form, because Salah obviously is not in his best form. Omar Mamouche he's not been at his best this season as he used to be last season. So we need these two players firing and in good shape and in good form. Because if these two players do well and have a good end to the season and are in good form, I think we have a proper chance of doing well something in the World Cup. Because these two are very, very important players, of course, for Egypt. Because defensively, Egypt, we're not that good. We're poor, but going forward, we could cause problems. So I think if we have those two players firing up, I think we have a proper chance of even winning the group, because that's a winnable group. In my eye, that's a very winnable group. Anybody could win that group. Belgium are not that good in my opinion. So yeah, even New Zealand can win the group. Iran, anybody. So it's gonna be a very interesting group, that one. And then Group H, you've got Spain, Cape Verde, Saudi Arabia, Uruguay. Yeah, the European champions, Spain. I think that's a group they should do well. They should win it. And then you've got second Uruguay, Saudi Arabia, Cape Verde. Cape Verde, decent side actually. Saudi Arabia, they had that magic win over Argentina all those years ago. So maybe they could do something. Uruguay, they're a good team still, but they still have some good players like Bentancur, Federico Valverde, Nunes, but they just got smashed by USA 6-1, I think, a couple of weeks ago. So they should qualify, but I think Saudi Arabia and Cape Verde have a chance as well. So, but obviously Spain is the favourite to win the group, and the second it's anybody. But I'm gonna say Uruguay. Group I, that's a very, very good Group I. You've got France, you've got Senegal, you've got Bolivia, Iraq, and then you've got Norway. That's a very, very good group. Very good group. That's a fantastic group. France, Senegal obviously have got some very good players. France, obviously, they are a fantastic team that just they reached two World Cup finals in a row. Experienced team as well. They've got Mbappe. Norway, who are fantastic in their qualifying. They've got Haaland obviously and Odegaard. Haaland against Mbappe. That's a fascinating battle upcoming for that World Cup in Group I. So I think, in my opinion, that's the best group of all the groups. I think that's the best group: France, Senegal, Norway, and then one of Bolivia, Iraq. I mean, that's a fantastic group. Very, very good group. I think France should qualify, and then I would say Norway. Norway and France. I think these two should qualify for the last 16. However, because Norway is the first time they played in the World Cup since a long time, I think Senegal might have a bit of experience in them to qualify as well. So, but that's a very fascinating group, very good group. I'm looking forward to it. Group J, Argentina, they get a very good draw. The current world champion, Algeria, Austria, and Jordan. It's a very winnable group for them. And then, number two, you've got Algeria, Austria, Jordan. Anybody of them can finish second. So it's gonna be very interesting. Group K, Portugal, Jamaica, Congo, Uzbekistan, Colombia. Portugal should win the group, and then second position I would say Colombia. Sorry, I think it's a group that Portugal and Colombia should go through, with all due respect to Uzbekistan, Congo, and Jamaica. Group L, England were in. Yeah, rightly so, because we've been the L's. We've been holding L's for years, but I'm joking. But yeah, we've got Croatia, you've got Ghana, you've got Panama. Croatia obviously is a classic game, obviously, between England. We faced them in the Euros 2021 or 2020, and we faced them obviously in the World Cup semi-final when we lost on extra time. And then you've got Ghana, who they're a decent side. Panama, we played them against them. I think it was their first World Cups in 2018. So England have got a group they should win, but it's not like guaranteed, because Croatia and Ghana are decent sides. If we qualify, then we're gonna most likely play against Colombia in the last 16, which again is similar to 2018. We played against Colombia in the last 16 as well. So the first phase of the knockout stage, the round of 32, I should say. The first match of the knockout stage, not because of the expanded format. So, but yeah, it's a decent group for England, but it's obviously not easy because Croatia and Ghana are decent sides. So that's it. That's it for the World Cup draw. I mean, in general, they've got interesting matchups. You've got France against Norway. You've got there could be crucial games also in the knockout stages. There could be France versus Portugal against Argentina if both win their groups. Spain could face Argentina, I think, as well. You've got very, very, very interesting draws. You've got Argentina. It could be Argentina against France in last 32. You've got interesting matchups. So I'm looking forward to the World Cup, and it's gonna be very fascinating. Obviously in Mexico and Canada and USA. And by the way, the draw took a while. I mean, I know Infantino likes to hype up Trump, etc., but keep the politics out of football. Keep it keep the politics out of football for once. But of course, it's FIFA. They can't do that. But yeah, let's move on to. No, actually, we're not going to talk about today's Premier League games. Let's talk about Manchester United against West Ham, because that was another disappointing result for Manchester United. They drew 1-1. They were winning 1-0 thanks to a goal from Diogo Dalot, and then they conceded the equaliser from Magasa. I mean, they had chances to score, they had chances to get the second goal, and they blew it. Ruben Amorim, I don't know why he keeps treating Maino badly. The guy is a very good player. He showed it under Erik ten Hag. I don't know why he keeps benching him. I don't know why he keeps, ignoring him. He even was asked about it in the press conference, and he laughed. I don't know why. There's clearly something wrong between him and Maino. There must have been a fight in the dressing room or something, because there's no way, with the talent that Maino can that he has, and he's shown, and that Erik ten Hag, that he can be on the bench for that many times. No way. And yeah, again, another disappointing result for Manchester United. And again, they showed that they lack consistency again. When they beat Crystal Palace, it was like, okay, they should kick on and win more games and get closer to that top 4, top 5 places. And they had the chance to do it if they beat West Ham, but again, they still have the same problems, still same issues, and they drop points yet again. So, and yeah, there's a lot of problems. Still a lot of problems at United. Yes, you could say they've improved to some extent to the previous season, but still, the same problems are still there. They lack consistency, they lack quality still, and defensively they still look bad. You know, even if United are 1-0 up, you can't trust them to hold on to win the game 1-0 because defensively they're so bad. They would need to score the second or third to win the game. So yeah, now let's move on to Formula One.